Welcome to Underdawg Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart. And I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today, like any other day, I have successful underdog. I don't like messing people's name up. Just go say your name for me, please.
Aleayna Moore.
Aleayna Moore.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm here. I'm just here. I don't know. I'm tired. Like, I ain't tired. The time changed, and I didn't realize that. And when I woke up, I was like, "Why is it light outside?" I wake up early, so I was happy. I got rest, and I don't know how to act when I got rest.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that time did throw me off.
Yeah,
once I got up, I'm like, okay, but I was like, all right. Well, I'm good.
Yeah. So, I need a fun fact.
Ooh, fun fact. I am a mother to a bunny rabbit. I'm sure that's probably the first time you got that one.
Yeah. Now, that's funny because we used to have a rabbit when I was a kid. I don't know what happened to it. It was at my dad's house. It was my sister's, but yeah, we had a rabbit.
Okay. Yeah. So
I was gonna be rude and say you ever had rabbit, but that wouldn't be the right question to ask.
No, I haven't had rabbit.
Okay, just
people
make sure.
have told my daughter that they're gonna have rabbit with her bunny, and so that hasn't worked too well.
Those are mean and cruel people. You shouldn't say that to a child.
Yeah.
How old is your child for them to say that?
She actually is about to be 12 tomorrow.
Oh, happy early birthday!
Yes.
Oh, you ain't got to the teens or the
not yet.
They get ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I got an 18, almost 19, and yeah, when she turned a teen, I ain't like her. I ain't like she real snappy. Yeah, I don't know. So my fun fact, since I just had a smoothie, I only like strawberry banana smoothies. I don't like any other smoothie or shake. Strawberry shake. So, ladies, if you're listening and you never want to get me something, or if any guy, you want to be kind, I like strawberry smoothies. Like, just look out for those strawberry smoothies for me. So that's my fun fact. Because you know how everybody try different stuff. I stick to what I know.
Stick to it, yeah definitely. Me too. I'm with the strawberry smoothie, strawberry banana smoothie. Yeah, that's it.
So you do a lot of stuff, and so I get questions just to kind of like give me a little. So these questions, yeah. So let's see. Start off before you were a mom. What was life like? What was going on? How was things going when you were just the underdog, not the successful underdog?
That's a good question. Life before I was a mom. Well, actually, I had a lot of things that I did because I didn't have my daughter until I was 27. And so I would just say life in my 20s really was just kind of figuring out who I was. I think when I went off to college at 17, and I was the first person in my family to go to college. And so for me, it was kind of like I knew there was more than the projects, more than what I saw, more than, what I knew. But I really didn't know how to get there. I really didn't have examples that was in front of me. And so for me, I like to say, to each its own. A lot of people say, well, college is not this. Well, for me, going to college and being on that campus was a land of opportunity for me. And so I was able to find out that young woman becoming a woman, kind of who she was, from that teenage girl to that, okay, now you're in college, now you're a young woman, you're a baby in this adult world. And so for me, it was a lot of finding out and searching. It's kind of like that GPS, how when you're going somewhere and it's just kind of searching, buffering. And so what I would say, that's what my 20s was about, just searching and buffering. And for me, once I graduated college at 22, when I got my undergraduate, that's when things propelled. Really, I knew who I was. I understood what I was placed here for. And so for me, I just kept being open to receive different people. A lot of times I always like to say, I come from a dysfunctional family. I don't want to choose dysfunctional friends. And so it's kind of like once I moved to Indianapolis, I didn't know anyone. So it's like the people that you choose to be around is a reflection of just that, my choice. And so I would say for me, life before I was a mother was definitely buffering, searching, finding myself, being comfortable with my childhood struggles, understanding that I was different. I didn't know what that was. So I would say that was me before I was a mom.
Where you from?
I'm from Toledo, Ohio originally.
Okay.
Yep.
So you like Ohio sports?
I do. I don't really follow it too much.
Okay. Because there's nothing to follow, but I was just seeing.
I always say I'm like, Ohio raised me, Indiana pays me. That's my thing.
I love it. And I love what you said about like the GPS and searching. Because in my 20s, I was just happy to get out my mama house. I was like, I ain't got to hear her tell me to do this, to do that. So when I went to school, like you said, college ain't for everybody, but it's opportunity, especially if you come from where you don't get to see those opportunities in front of you. Like, you don't get to see business people or people networking and different stuff. In college, you see all that. And I didn't take advantage of that. Like, if I could, I still don't think I might have graduated. I just didn't like school like that. But if I could go back and the opportunities that I missed out on, I would definitely capitalize on them, because like if you come from the other side of the track and you go to a decent school and you get to see that, you got to take advantage of it. And that's what I told my daughter. She's a freshman at IU. I was like, when you go to school, don't go to school to come back and just work for somebody else. Go to school and get the knowledge so you can be a boss for whatever field you want to be in, because you can learn different stuff in college. So did you go to college close to home? Did you go to college away? So
I'm from Toledo. I actually went to college in Cincinnati. Which was very interesting because I graduated high school with a 1.7 GPA.
Oh, me too.
And so, knowing that, like a lot of schools wouldn't have accepted us. A lot of schools said no, and that goes to show, even though that's where I was, I had that chance. And so, my undergrad is from the University of Cincinnati. And so even when I look back, I'm like, I didn't even understand how awesome that was. It was it's the University of Cincinnati, and it's a prestigious school. And so being able to have that opportunity, I think, was amazing.
Shout out to Cincinnati. You the second person in the last 3 shows. Like the show before, the last guest. Not the last guest, the guest before that, Kevin Brown, he went to Cincinnati too. Okay. So shout out to Cincinnati. I don't know what connecting with the Cincinnati folks at the college. Maybe they need me to come speak. I don't know.
Hey.
Speak that into existence. But yeah, that's because I had a 1.7 GPA. And the only school that accepted me was Vincennes. And I was like, okay, let's go.
Right.
Didn't know nothing about it. Didn't know it was in the middle of nowhere. And I'm from Michigan City, Indiana, so it's not you get racism on the outskirts, but it's more white people than black people, but you kind of deal with a little racism. But in the country, racism is different. So I dealt with all different kinds of stuff and had to grow up as a black kid from urban America into this hick town and try to focus on school, and it just didn't work out for me. So I didn't end up staying there long because, I was a suspect for murder once because I was black. I was in the car. It was 4 of us, and I was like, this ain't really for me down here. So I ended up going to Bloomington. But going to college, having that experience, you graduate. Do you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go get that bachelor's. I'm going to get the next step? Or were you like, I'm good, let me figure life out?
You know what? So I ended up graduating in 2007 with my undergrad. I said I was going to go back, but then I said I needed, you know how you always say, we got to take that year out.
Yeah.
That year became many years.
Yeah.
But I actually, in 2018, I received my master's. I went to Indiana Wesleyan University. And even now, I'm in school now, so I have a year and a half left, about a year and a half yet left working on my PhD at Marian University.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And really the journey looking back, it's kind of like, you know, I started off with 1.7 in high school, but continued to persevere throughout and continue to do that with honors. And I think that right there is just a testament to share with people. It's not about where you start. You know, it's about being able to persevere through and then developing that journey for yourself so that you can say, hey, that's where I was at, but that didn't define my entire situation. It was just a moment.
Yeah, definitely. Because I work in the school system, and I'm like, how the heck I get in the school system, and I hated school.
Right.
But it was God put me in a position to help me learn certain stuff, but to be around kids, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing, is being around kids. But it's not how you start. Because I remember I was in regular school and in night school for English, and I just published a book on Friday. So it's like, yeah, it's still weird to me that I actually did it, because it's like stuff that I wanted to do, but it's like, I don't really care if I did it until I understood why you need to do it when in the field I'm in. So still being in school, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, how are you making it work? Because I know it ain't easy.
You know, definitely a lot of prayer. I'll definitely start with prayer, and I'll make sure Sundays I'm at my service. So I would just say, outside of prayer, having a strong village. You know, a lot of times I have a lot of people around me that at one point saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. So continuing to have people around me that think bigger than me, you know, that are further places that I want to go, you know. So really making sure that I have that strong unit. I believe a lot in giving back. To whom much is given, much is required. And so for me, the more that I pour out, I know there's going to be things that are coming back to me.
I like that. Because you definitely got to. And then I like what you said about having a village, because I think back in the day it was like a village for a kid. Yeah. Now you need a village as an adult.
Oh yeah.
Because life is hard as all hell, and if you don't have, like my last guest I was just talking to, like it was 3 of them, and they like, we can call each other and talk about certain stuff or check on each other with mental health. And if you don't have those people around you, or like you said, you don't have people around you that see more in you than you see in yourself, then you're not really gonna get too many places in life, because you're gonna be going off the people that, oh yeah, that was good, but they just happy that you did something.
Right.
So when did in between now and when you first got your first degree, when did you go for like entrepreneurship? Did you get a job first? Did you work your way into it, or was it something that you kind of started and then it just became where you at now?
Well, honestly, believe it or not, a lot of people that see me outside, see me out and about, I actually still have a full-time job.
Okay.
So entrepreneurship for me, I did for a while. I think about 2-3 years. I made the decision to not clock in and clock out, and I did full entrepreneurship. But for me, I feel like I'm needed in the schools. And so right now for me, just kind of coasting, waiting until I finish my education and things like that to see what God has next for me. And so, I've worked. You know, I've worked the entrepreneur things, like as a speaker, doing my mentoring, all those other things is a bonus, you know, but I do work. And so I think that's important too, because I think sometimes people step out and they try to, you know, start their business or be an entrepreneur and just leave their job. And I think that's where sometimes things go wrong at, if you don't have a certain amount saved, because then a lot of times, even if you're doing it from the heart, things switch because you need the money. And so for me, everything that I'm doing is not for monetary gain. You know, it's to be able to gain the reward of lives being changed. And so I can do that and still know that I have a full-time job to pay the bills. You know, if a grant comes through or if there's funding that's needed, I don't mind using a portion of my income to be able to fund certain things. And that's why for me, as a nonprofit organization with my mentoring program, I've been in existence since 2009. I didn't start receiving grants until around 2021. And so from that, it was about the community stepping up. It was about me being able to pour into my business. And so a lot of times we're not willing to invest in our business. And I think a lot of times that is what hinders us as a community.
That is true. So you have a mentor program and you've had it for a while. What made you start it?
The little girl inside of me. The little girl inside of me who always needed what I am for other people. And so that little girl inside of me that really didn't have women in the community that looked like me, that I wanted to emulate. The little girl that was inside of me in the childhood, young lady. I was raised with my grandmother. My mother was on drugs, and then my mother is schizophrenic. And so not understanding as a young girl why my mother couldn't show up for me like I wanted her to. And so taking my childhood pain, it just became my purpose. And so that's what ended up birthing my organization.
I love that. I love that because that's really what I think a lot of people start a program because of they didn't have that person or people around them, or they're feeding that younger person that went through all those different things. So when you, because I had a mentor program and I started, and it was me and a couple homies, and then it was just me. So when you started, who was it? How did it go? Did you want to give up, or did you how did that process go when you first started?
When I first started, it was pure volunteer, me and young ladies. And so I did that for a while. I am very protective of the women that I allow in the space of my young ladies. I actually had my organization. I started my organization before I even had my own child. And so a lot of people used to say, well, you don't even have kids, and, all of those things, thinking that it's a reason why you shouldn't do this. So at the beginning, it was me, and I can recall myself going from doing my mentoring and then going from this site to that site and connecting. And so it was hard because it's a vision that God gave me. And a lot of people say that they want to volunteer, they want to help out. But the question is, when that young lady talks to you a way that you don't want her to talk to you, how are you going to receive that? When that young lady is really shut down and you don't know how to connect, like, how are you going to receive that? It's a lot of different things that the young ladies are battling. And it's like, this is not just cookie cut. So in those particular moments, or if a parent gets upset and feel like you're trying to be the girl's mother, how are you going to receive that parent? How are you going to connect with that parent? And so for me, it comes so naturally. I like to say I'm like a girl magnet, everything that I do, and I'm so blessed that every job that I've had has been working with kids. People used to tell me when I was younger, like in my early 20s, well, you're lucky you found your purpose so quick, or you're lucky. Well, I mean, I put in the work behind the scenes, it's because a lot of people look for their purpose outside of them, but it's really in us. And so I had the ability to birth, cultivate, nurture, and do all the things that I needed to do in the inside so that I could have my purpose come out.
I love that. That's dope, because you don't sometimes catch people that have programs that don't have kids because, like you said, how do you react? Do you know how to react when those kids are doing what you didn't expect them to do or anything of that sort? So shout out to you for starting that. I had a daughter, but I didn't have my son, but I mentor boys. So I kind of started the same way, but it was because I coached basketball. So that's kind of why I started. So you didn't have a child, you've been doing this, and then your child comes. How does that affect your time with your girls, with your program?
It doesn't at all. I incorporate my child in my program. A lot of times if people remember me, remember me when I first had her, I got the car seat. I'm coming to meetings. I'm doing those things. And so I think a lot of time when we have a business as women, as mothers, we think it's business and our kid. No, you incorporate your children within there, because then for my daughter, when it was time for a meeting and when she was a toddler, she knew how to act. She sat there with her tablet. She had her headphones on. Like, it's time. She knew what it needed to be done. No shade to no one, but you get some of those parents to where it's a meeting and the kids it's one thing you have to bring the kids, but got to make sure your kids know the business etiquette. Oh, well, they just kids, but there's a certain decency and order, you know? And so my child, and people that know me, they know, you see me, you see my child. If you don't see my child, that means she with her daddy. That's the only way. Or as she's getting older, I think she's a little ladies under construction out. She's like, Mom, it's a meeting, So she still do those things. I try not to force it on her. And I am very blessed to say that my daughter is an actual girl. She's not too grown. She's not too, I like for her to be how she is, and she's just, she'll still go play with the hula hoop and, have a little tutu on and all that. And I am okay with that, and so that is something that she continues to grow as the organization grows. I even see her trying to encourage other girls. If we're out and just looking at her in school, different things that she do, you can tell that she emulating some of the things that I've done, whether it be getting up and speaking and talking with the girls. We're big on affirmations, so her being able to say her affirmations and things like that. And she has a true, genuine, caring heart.
That's dope. That's dope. I love that because I was the same way when I was coaching. My son, he was with me. He wherever I went, my son was with me. And then I got a divorce, so when he was over with me, he was everywhere. Like I was, like I'd be like, hey, we got a meeting today. I got a recording. Make sure you over there. You need anything? You need some snacks? What you need so I can make sure you cool? Because I think your children seeing you actually build whatever you're saying is helping them in the long run, because they'll get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because when you bring your kids everywhere, they're going to see if something goes wrong or whatever the case, or then they start asking questions. And now they might be able to be like, well, I want to start this. Like my son, he'd be like, oh, I want to get on YouTube and do videos like you. Go ahead. You got your phone. I can't help you with that. You got to start it on your own. But just having those parents that bring their kids. And if you do bring your kids, just whoop them or something. Just get a little man, a little. You got to work on your look. If you're a dad, we got that dad. Hey, sit down. But I definitely understand that. But shout out to parents that bring their kids because they don't have a village, because they don't have a sitter, because that could be an excuse. Oh, well, I got my kid, and your kid ain't the reason why you ain't making your dream. Is you. You got to take your kid with you. So I love that. And I love that you can tell that your child is a child, because I work in the schools, and these little second graders, I don't even know how to describe them, because they grown, they know
products
stuff.
Of their environment.
Yeah, like they be knowing stuff, and this little dance they do and drop down, and I just be like, so as a dad, like with my son, so with him, I still have to remember he's only 9. He's still a little boy. Like he still likes to do little kid stuff sometimes, and it's not like,
and that's okay.
Because his conversation is a little older than what he is. And I mean, like, he can hold a conversation. Now he talking crazy, but just being able to hold a conversation. But then it's like, you really is only 9, so you really gonna like just playing with little toys, or he still talk to himself and playing games. And I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because I have to remember when I was 9 what I was doing, or in 4th grade. So it definitely is, because times is different. So, you speak too. You do. There's a couple other things you do. So with speaking, how did that come about for you?
Well, I've always been a talker. It's always so funny. Me and a friend of mine back at home, Brandy, she always say, Mama Lenya, back in the day. And it's like, she always is saying something, or got something to say, and all of that. So I think it's kind of one of those things that I've always done. Mm-hmm. And so now when I look back and I'm like, wow, I could have been got paid for that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, so the whole time I've been giving them freebies, you know? So I think for me, it was just kind of, once I moved here and people started to hear my story, and me starting to believe in myself more, really that confidence just came. And going to conferences, when I first moved here and seeing different women giving their testimonies, you know, doing all those different things at conferences, I think for me, that was the turning point. And me being so young and then looking young, and then people, I think for me, people used to underestimate me in school. It's like, oh, you know, I'll say, I've been speaking for a while. Well, what's a while? You just young. Well, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, okay, but watch when I speak, I'm going to blow you away, you know? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people used to always say, man, you look so young, but when you start talking, man. And so just continuing to hear as each time that I speak, the people that come up to me afterwards saying certain things and saying how much they were inspired by it or moved by it, and how my story, even like today, you know, I'm saying 1.7 GPA, bam, here we are, you know. So continuing to, as I open up and continue to share some of the things that I may think is my darkness or my weakness or my areas where I overcame, and opening up and saying it and then matching that, and someone like, oh yeah, me too. Oh, yeah, this is that. Then it continues to let me know your journey is not for you. It's for you to continue to put it out there, share with others, and remind others that you, too, can continue on past whatever it is that you're going through.
Yeah. That's the part that I had to learn, that the journey isn't for me. Excuse me, like you said, I've been talking since day one, since I came out the womb. So it was just like, I've been, like you said, been talking and giving people free messages my whole life. But then when you realize actually what speaking is, and going up there and somebody comes up and says, oh my goodness, your story is inspiring. My story? Me? I was just trying to make it. Right. And then that kind of helps you to be like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because when the first time I spoke, somebody was like, yeah, you should be a motivational. What the heck is that? What are you talking about? Right. The only people I knew, they came in the suits and was all, you know, kind of uppity and, well, I went through the struggle and now I'm rich. It's like, okay, whatever. But then, like, actually going up there and actually doing it, it's like amazing. Like, I still remember my first time and people coming up and it's like, wow. Yeah. Or me realizing, okay, I was born this way. It wasn't even for me, because somebody else could have been born this way and they wouldn't have made it past whatever age. And it's like, I just heard this video. It was, I think they said Mike Epps said it. It's like, if you had all the problems in the world was there, would you pick up somebody else's problems, or would you pick up yours? And it's like, your problems, your journey, your stuff is for you, because somebody else could be in your shoes and they wouldn't be able to tell that story. So that's dope that there's people that can translate that and not just talking, but actually sharing their story. Yeah. And as their story goes, they can be transparent, because I don't know if I would have ever told people that I had that 1.7 like when I like a while ago. I was kind of ashamed of it, but now it's like, hey, I had that, but that's not where I even it wasn't even the picking point of what life was gonna have for me. Right. So when you go and you talking to these young girls, what are some of the things, not just the young girls, but young people, because you go and speak, but what are some of the things that you help them with, or is the outcome of after them speaking to you or hearing you speak?
I would say one of my biggest messages is a slogan that I have. I have two different ones. I have a kind of like a middle one and a closing one. It's kind of like you got to, get the hook. For me, I always tell people the slogan is tag your it. At 17, that's what I told myself. And so that's how I share it with people. I told myself, tag your it. You're the person to change the trajectory of your bloodline. And so when you think about that, regardless of whatever stronghold, addictions, whatever deficits, whatever you want to call it, you know, what if you're the person that you're waiting on? So when you think about that and you're thinking about you being the person that you're waiting on, and I like to say, tag, you're it. So if you're the person that can change the trajectory of your bloodline, then what are you waiting on? And so really looking at it like that and really getting them to understand what is one thing in your family that you want to change. What is something that you want to see shift? And then really sharing my story and letting them see how I was able to do it. Is very huge. And so that's my thing. I probably should patent it or something like that, but that's my thing. Tag, you're it. Like, we're looking around, well, man, I need help. I need this. What if you're the person you waiting on? So if you operated life like you're the person that you're waiting on, you will move a little different. You know what I mean? You would connect a little different. You would appreciate the circles that you're walking into. You would really push to say, I need a mentor, I need a coach, I need this, I need that, because my family's waiting on me. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I always like to share in my message, and kind of sharing with them how I became that person. And then another thing is, I always like to ask people this. I'm going to ask you that too. If you think about life like a book, I always ask them, what's the title of your book based on everything you've gone through and where you're at today? And then what chapter are you currently on? And so in thinking about that, what is the chapter of your book, and then what chapter are you currently on? Understanding that there's people, places, and things that no longer serve you, and they can't go with you in the next chapter. And really looking at it like that each and every time, just kind of shedding away from things that we thought that we knew, that the people that we thought that we knew, places that we thought we should continue to frequent, and all of that, and being able to really connect and find out who's holding me back. What are some habits that sometimes maybe in the next chapter I need to let go of depression. I need to let go of anxiety. I need to let go of loneliness. I need to let go of whatever that thing is. And then maybe I need to isolate. A lot of times we don't like to isolate. And so really getting people to understand, like, you're the person that you're waiting on. What chapter are you on? As your next year comes, what chapter are you on next? Who needs to leave? It's a lot of people that, you know, we may be on chapter 30, but they should have left in chapter 20, but we still got them hanging on, or we got a certain mindset hanging on. And so those are two things that I like to go with.
Yeah, I like that. The title, before I go into the title, it's something to do with Underdawg.
Okay.
Because I'm working on a book about my story, so it's something to do with Underdawg. I don't know what words I want to put with it, but Underdawg. And then the chapter is right before you made it.
Okay.
Because each year I look at each year as like what this year has taught me. Last year taught me you can get through any damn thing that life throw at you. Yeah. Like, because 2023, I don't know what 23 was on, but in 22 is kind of when I was the start. Like, I'm podcasting. This is my main focus. And then last year was like the obstacles of somebody canceling, the camera dying, this and that, and all those different things, and just keep going. And now it's like, I got a groove. I know what I'm doing now. Now I'm getting different opportunities. I'm networking, and it's about that time. And I had to leave everybody. Like after my divorce, everybody. Like, only reason I mess with my kid's mom is because they my kid's mom. Like, if I didn't have, like, everybody be gone. Like, friends of 20 years, best friends, people I kicked it with all the time. Everybody left. At first it was like, oh, your little podcast. Then they realized, oh, he's serious about this, and that's what I do. And I do other things as well. But yeah, like, everybody left. I left them, I don't know, chapter something. They got left a while ago. Hey, and you have to leave people though. And it sucks. Because in your mind, especially if you come from around the way, you like, oh, my day ones, they going to be with me. They going to stay here. And they might not be meant to go to that next level. Everybody ain't meant to go to the next, or everybody ain't capable of helping you get to that next level and keeping you there.
Yeah. And I think one thing, too, as you were saying, that a lot of times we have to leave the person we thought that we were. I think a lot of times when we're around people that really don't serve us well, I'll just say that, we have to understand when, like, the person in your 20s may not have been really who you were. You were that person based on the circle and the people that you were around and the circumstance. And so I think leaving your old self behind to start developing the new you, you know, I think is very huge, because when you're shedding hurts. Shedding hurts. But once you get done shedding, you ended up, you know, becoming, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't even know, you know, okay then, okay. And so, but even when that, you become the light, and then you're around other people of light. Yeah. And then you find out that people are saying, oh, yeah, well, hey, you know, this is this and that, because what God has for me is for me, and what God has for you is for you. And you find out, hey, I'm not competing, I'm collaborating, you know, and I think that's very huge. A lot of times we just got to say yes to the future self and say no to who we thought that we were.
Yeah, because the old you ain't going to get you no new results.
Come on.
And I'm learning that, like, it's like, okay, you doing some of the stuff that you used to do when you when you had nothing to do in life, when you was just waking up, when I was thinking like Cleo, just trying to make it through the next day, and I wasn't thinking like Stoney, what's going to be the next 5 years. And you got to leave those habits. And you so true, because the stuff I was doing in my 20s, I was doing because of the environment I was in. Because in some of the stuff we was doing wasn't the right type of stuff. Yeah. But my buddy would be like, man, I would always be the voice of reason. Like, man, we shouldn't be doing this. Like, it just ain't. I don't think this is right, because what you put out in the world will come back to you. And you don't realize that when you're young and in your 20s and you feel like you got to survive and you doing all these different things just to get $1, that evil stuff that you was doing, whatever it is, it come back to you. Yeah. But to what you were saying with Tag Your It, I think a lot of grown people need to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you waiting for somebody. Ain't nobody going to save you but you. Like, you could maybe get some help here and there. Somebody might, I got a donation or whatever. But ain't nobody just coming up and be like, oh, I heard you said you needed this in your brain. Here you go. No, you got to go and put the work in. And I had to realize that, because everybody left. And I'm like, okay, so who supposed to help me with, I got to do all this on my own. So when I get to that point, can't nobody say nothing. You ain't helped me with shit, so don't come saying nothing. Don't bring. You can't. Can I get no? My mama, that's the biggest person. And my mom and my dad. My dad, he actually did, invest in his son finally. But that's another day, a different story. But it's like you gotta go and do it yourself. You can't wait for nobody else, because if you put somebody else in there, they might not have the same integrity as you, the same character as you, and they could be to corrupt you. They could be like, oh, let's collab, but you don't know any better because you didn't even research the field you in. You don't know nothing. You just said, I want to start a podcast. Let's record. You don't know nothing about a podcast. You don't know who the top person is. None of those different things. And you waiting for somebody to come save you. You it. Tag you it.
Right.
You it. You got to fix you. You got to help you. The prayers you praying, guess what? God waiting. He like, well, you've been praying for the last 5 years. I just waiting for you to do, I told you to go down this street, but you steadily want to go over here. You go down this street and put in a couple months of work. I got you, but hey, that's up to you. And if you don't do that, you can't blame nobody. It's like being in education and talking to the kids. Well, my teacher don't like. It ain't your teacher. It's you. It's you. You're not doing what you're supposed to, so you mad at the next person. It's you. You can't be mad. You can't keep saying it's the teacher. You can't keep saying it's your parents. It ain't your spouse. It ain't the job. It's you. You have to look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm messing up. I need to get my stuff together. How can I get my stuff together? Because if you don't, you're going to just be tagging somebody else, and they going to win the game.
Straight up.
Have you ever seen that movie Tag? Like the grown-up version?
No, I haven't seen a grown-up version.
It's like, the dude from what's the movie called? Hangover. One of the dudes from Hangover's on there, and it's like a real life. It's like 4 friends. They playing tag, and it's like under no circumstance they going to get that person, and it's like. That's how you got to be after your goals. Like, it don't matter. My man's was in a business meeting, important meeting. His friends came in disguised as a janitor just to tag him. But if you don't do everything possible to get to your tag or tag yourself in, then you can't blame nobody else and can't be upset at nobody else.
And it's kind of like, I can't remember the full quote of what he said. It was the E.T., the hip hop preacher. He said, until you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll never be successful.
And you won't. And the story that he told, and when you look at that, you be like, what about as bad as you want to breathe, that's how you got to go after. And if you don't, like, you could be like, oh, well, I got this job, I got the mentor program, I got a child, I don't think I need to go get my PhD. I already got my master's and all that. And it's like, nah, you want to get it for whatever reason, so you're going to go after it. You're not going to stop because life stepped in the way. Because I could have stopped because life got in the way when I was born. So I could have just been a needy person, but I wasn't raised that way to be a needy person, and I had to utilize those skills in life to get to where I'm at. And I don't know. I just feel like sometimes people give up on themselves before they even give themselves a try.
Right.
So, let's see what else I got on these notes. Oh, I do have You Won't Believe This. It's a segment, right? It's if you see some crazy stuff. Like if you see I don't know. I always find myself seeing crazy stuff. I don't know how. I could look out the window, I could walk to the gas station, something crazy like happens, or at school. So if you don't got one, I'm gonna tell this because I just couldn't. Like, this happened on Friday. So it's a little girl, and she can't go to the bathroom or anywhere in the hallway by herself because she is I call her graffiti. She graffitied the bathroom. So I take her to the nurse's office to take her medicine. Whatever, I don't know what she take it for. Take her. So a kid come in, he bleeding, like a mark on his face. I'm like, dang, what's going on? You know, he like, the nurse like, what happened? He's like, oh, nothing happened. I don't know what happened. Bro, you bleeding, so you don't know. Okay, whatever. So 2 seconds later, the teacher, I don't know what happened. This kid just swung on. Oh, you got knocked out. That's why you ain't want to say something happened. Oh, okay. So I'm like, dang, a little fight just happened. I'm taking this girl back to class, walking in the hallway. Mr. Jones, this girl got weed. Weed? What? I'm in elementary school.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, yep. So she like, I wanted to go tell the principal. She was smoking. I'm like, all right, let's go to the principal. Find out it wasn't weed, like the actual grass. It was a pen, but it was a 5th grader. And, yeah, she did it at indoor recess. And, yeah, got caught. I couldn't believe in the matter of 20 minutes, a fight, and somebody got caught with smoking a pen in elementary school. Well, the fight was older because it's K through 12, but it just, I didn't realize that kids really be on these pens like that. And that young age. And then you had the balls to do it at school, in the classroom, indoor recess, like nobody was going to snitch on you. As soon as you did, you was in the principal's office. Yeah. That quick. So that was that's how Friday went at school.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, it's so interesting. I've had one of those moments. I've had a couple of those moments in my time. I was at like a wow. You know, I don't even know. I'll say one of my most recent wow moments. Did that just happen moments was 4th graders. I worked at school as well, but 4th graders threatened to pull someone's ponytail out, put their wig out, or I didn't even know it was extensions. And so they literally was in the bathroom. They both chose to go to the bathroom, and so it actually happened. And so it was just. So at that point, the other young lady came back like she was very hurt. You know, she was very hurt that it happened, got back into her classroom. She was talked about, but she was the person that told her to do it. So it was just kind of like, you know, the professional part of me, I had to respond accordingly. But, you know, the core in me, the little girl inside of me was just like, well, I mean, you the one who asked for it.
Yep.
And she did what you asked her to do. So why you mad?
Yeah. See, and it be like that when you work in schools. You have to be professional.
Oh, yeah.
But then you be like, why you just let them do that to you? Or somebody hit you, or somebody do something. It's crazy because I was talking to an admin, right? And they don't live here, they live somewhere else. And I was telling them, I think about that situation, and they made me feel like I got to be more sensitive in the sense of don't go first of the outside of work thought and go with the professional work, because it'll help the kid. Because I'd be the type to be like, shoot, they hit you, go hit them back. But that ain't the proper thing to do. But how I grew up and how that was the proper thing to do. I tell kids that all the time. They be like, I'll hit you. I was like, well, my mama told me if anybody hit me to knock them out. So go ahead and hit me and see what happened. And I would never hit a kid, but that's, you know, just to let them know I'm a little off. Like, I don't know. I'm the off teacher. Like, when I come into class, because I'm not an actual teacher, I'm an interventionist. So when I come into class, they turn. And I be like, calm down, y'all. I can't even come in y'all class because y'all, you know, doing all the most. But those kids in those situations come and talk to me and feel comfortable talking to me. So I guess it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. But kids is funny. Do your kids do the little drop down dance?
They do all that.
Like, I don't, and it be boys doing it, and I just be like, who put that in front of y'all to do it? And the kids do cheese touch. Do you know what that is? So from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I guess he had some bad cheese and he got it and he touched people. It's like tag, and they do it with me all the time, and they teachers hate it. And I'm a big kid at heart. Are you one of those big kids at heart, or you stay?
It depends, because I'm a dean.
Oh.
So I gotta.
Oh yeah, you can't. You don't play no games.
So listen, I gotta, you know, and it's so funny because it was so hard for me because I coach girls basketball. So imagine being the dean of school, and then asking them to come play basketball.
Oh, I ain't playing with you.
Right. So I'm like, listen, y'all, I'm really fun though. I'm really fun. Like, come on, like, no,
I'm good.
So it was kind of like, but yeah. So.
So, coaching girls basketball, I've done that. It's different. How did that go?
You know, for me, it went very well. Although we didn't win as much, the growth was tremendous. So many girls, it was their first time playing sports, period. And so, you know, basketball is different. You know, you got to still have the contact. It's still competitive, you know, and all these different things. And so I had an amazing time. It was very, very good. This week we have our banquet coming up. And my biggest thing is kind of remembering the things that it instilled in me that I didn't know at that particular time. So letting them know, like, you all grew, you know, you had determination, you know, you were able to stick through. It was, you had quite a few girls who quit the team once they lost, when the game, you know, parents allowed them to quit. And so just kind of seeing that, I mean, we just played the semifinals with 4 people, you know, and so letting them know, like, other people gave up on you. Like, you stuck through it, you know. You didn't, like, what made you endure through the whole thing? Like, what are some things that you're going to use? And really reminding them, I tell them all the time, when you go out here, I just need you to leave it all on the court. I don't care what that scoreboard say. Of course, do I want to win? Yes. But at the same time, the win for me is the growth from game to game and being able to have it like that. And so that's really big for me, which is why I love coaching elementary through middle school. You know, high school, that's a whole different level. But I love coaching the beginning sports and intermediate sports grades because of that. It's kind of, you're still doing the foundation. Will you play in high school? Probably not. You know what I mean? Some probably will. But the odds of elementary girls, you know, depending on the school that you're at, they probably won't. So let's just have fun. You know, let's have fun. Let's grow. Don't give up. And let's build.
Yeah, I love that. I don't get to talk to a lot of women coaches because I coach women's. I first started coaching girls with my daughter when she was younger, but I coach high school girls, and I actually like coaching girls high school more than I like coaching older boys because they actually listen. I did middle school and I didn't like them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like them at all. They're different. They're disrespectful. They think they know it all. It's like, if you knew it all and you could do all that, just go out there and do it. But I love what you said, because sometimes with girl sports, I feel like they don't get the push as the boys do. You don't see AAU pushes. You don't see gyms where, dang, it's 10 girls over here waiting to play and it's a game going on. You don't get to see that. So just them having the opportunity to play sports in elementary, which a lot of kids don't, because every district or IPS or whatever the names of the worst kids go, they don't get to play basketball until middle school, unless your parents can afford for you to get on there. So that's a good thing to have a coach like you to help them understand, like, hey, everybody gave up on you. Remember all them girls that was talking, oh, yeah, we about to win, not where they at. And those are life lessons that's going to help them down the road. Because watching kids, like watching my son, he's in 4th grade, and that's what grade I coach for boys. Just watching them, like, overcome adversity in games. It's like, so if something in life happens, like, hey, you remember that championship game? Treat it just like that. Don't give up. Figure out, make the adjustments, because that early stage is what helps them. Like you said, everybody ain't going to make high school. Yeah. Some might not even make the middle school. It's politics. Do you? Okay. Yeah. Is it politics? You've been you kind of more in the school systems and stuff. Is sports politics here?
Yeah, of course.
Like, why? Like, why? How did it get to be? I know you might not know the answer, but what do you think is the reason behind politics in sports? Because I feel like that's horrible. For my son, his age group, they had to try out to be on the elementary team. You gotta, like, when I was in school, you didn't get cut from elementary. You just played, because you might not even know how to play. No, everybody might not even know how to play. But now, if you don't start going out for whatever township you live in 2nd, 3rd grade, you might not make the high school team because they don't know you. You know,
I've dealt with that. I'm not gonna say which township or which district. And I mean, ultimately, so I took in my nephew. He was 12 at that time. Had him from 12 through he's 18 now, and he was really he was great at football. And that was one of the biggest things. Luckily, I'm a networker, resource queen, all of that. But man, if I didn't know some people that knew some people, the team that he was the starting running back for, it wouldn't have happened, And I think it depends. Which is for me why I like to work in different types of schools. That's not necessarily the signature. I like to work in the schools where they come from all types of places, because I mean, I don't have family here, I don't have people. It's not about, I mean, my network is my network, what I've built. And I really don't get into, like, even when you talk about the ones that I play with or the schools that I may work at and the kids that are playing, they might IHAA, like, they're probably not even going to play with IHAA. Maybe some will, a small percentage. But I really, for me personally, I wouldn't coach, at this time on that particular level. It's just a lot, it's a lot of politics in sports, politics in education, it's just politicking all the way around.
Yeah, that I'm glad you did know some people, because that sucks. Yeah. That sucks because it could be a kid that moved here because of family situations, great in sports, nobody knows them, they're not going to pick them up. They're like,
or say a kid, even with that, a kid could be in foster care.
Yeah. And be one of the coldest.
Listen.
We looking at their paper, that ain't got, he 15. You think him moving around and that got something to do with him? It's just crazy to think about those, that different stuff. So you being a dean, I like to talk about different stuff. I ain't gonna go into schools. No, I definitely ain't gonna go into schools because I don't know. I think more and more people in my job watch it. I gotta wait till I get the right money to say. I'm telling you, when I be able to leave the schools. Oh, I'm doing I might do some episodes by myself because I'm gonna tell it all. But being a dean, being in the schools, doing what you do, being in sports, do you feel like referees cheat kids? Or do you feel like it's just part of the game, missed call, or have you ever seen referees involved in the game, or do you feel like it just,
I wouldn't say they cheat kids. Because like I said, I really don't get it. Depending on what level, I really don't. We got referees, the level that I play on, that's gonna not call too many. It's just kind of like let them play.
Yeah.
So I really can't say that. I don't really get into, like I said, IHAA. I don't get into like the, D1 sports and different things like that. I hope they're not like paying referees and doing listen. I'm just saying.
I hope they don't pay them, but I definitely have
some
seen
of the calls that be.
Yeah, no, I've actually like heard from other people that refs cheat for a certain team or stuff like that, and it's like it's just weird to me that you that evil of a person that you got to cheat a kid because they mom said something to you, or because this team is the team of the town and we want them to win. Yeah, we've been through that where we went to a town where we didn't look like them, and the team of the town beat us the day before, but when it counted, they was trying to beat us again with extra players with striped shirts, but it didn't go that way. I was just wondering because girl sports is a little different and not different, but I think it's different in the crowd and the playing and stuff of that, especially younger age. Now, when you get older, girls can hoop, but I feel like elementary, no. So, when you came to Indianapolis, just hit my head. Who did you listen to in music? It's just random. When you was younger, since you from Ohio.
When I was younger, I've always been a neo soul girl.
Okay.
So, but who did I listen to when I was younger? I don't, I was raised with my grandmother.
Oh, never mind. Listen. You wasn't listening to Bone Thugs and them.
No, I mean, wake up, it's the first of the month. Though.
I mean, everybody, that was on the radio.
That was the main one, because and my birthday was on the first.
Oh, okay.
So, that was my
I was just trying to see if you listened to like the Ohio, like, excuse me, Ohio had music when I was younger. So I was just trying to see if you was
So, I mean, you had I can't really recall. I listen to the things that my parents listened to. I would just say that. Ohio players, you got the, just like you said, Bone Thugs and different things like that. But, I really didn't listen to too much. I think I was more saturated with basketball, coming home.
Oh, so you hoop?
Yeah. I actually play ball.
Oh, so you good?
Yeah. I played basketball, softball, and I ran track.
So, yeah, you can still hoop today?
I knew a little something.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering,
nothing too much. Listen,
nothing too much.
Nothing too much. Even with that, I probably was one of those players that really didn't know how to. I knew how to play a little bit, but I think my hard work carried it. The skills didn't carry it.
Yeah. Did your kids ever challenge you as like, oh, coach, yeah, I could beat you?
No, actually they don't.
No. What kind of program y'all? What them kids don't do that? Boy, they be.
And see, I think for me, a lot of times when it comes time, like I said, it depends on the kids. Like it's a couple cold girls that's on that team, and I'm like, listen, honestly, for me, I'm like, why your parent got you at this school? If you don't listen, and a lot of, especially when I feel like when you are really, really good at sports and it's something that you want to do. The sacrifice of a parent being able to put you in a place to where you doing it is really going to get you seen.
Yeah.
I think it's important because I see a lot of people, heck, I used to work at the juvenile center and they, Miss Moore, can you, you want to see me play? No, because ain't no scouts in here, bruh. Like, nah, bruh. Like, you cool, that's cool, but listen, ain't no scouts coming to juvie. You know what I'm saying? So it hurts my heart to see that you got that talent. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like, so, nah, man, like, I'm not. Even when you get out, you're going to be in alternative school. Ain't no scouts coming to alternative school. And really, I like to just put the reality of it.
Yeah.
And so, even as it relates to some of these kids, you got skill, you got talent. I'm sorry, just me as my child, listen, she's about to get ready to start running track. She wants to run. She's a girly girl, so she don't do the, contact sports like her mom. And I want her to, but I'm like, no. She likes to cheerlead. She likes to do all that, so I allow her to be her. But I'm gonna tell you, if as we continue to go and get to, if it's something that she really want to do, and I see that she's dedicated to it, like she's gonna start playing running track. And so if I start seeing that she's really taking it serious, and as we keep coaching and I'll do some training with her and stuff, I want to be able to put her into a place that's going to provide opportunity as well.
Yep.
And so I think that's another thing, having your kids at some of these schools that are not necessarily getting them the opportunity and exposure, and it's kind of a catch-22, because guess what? I don't want to have my child at a school that's going to give them opportunity and exposure in sports and they lack academics.
Yeah.
I don't want to have my child go and get opportunity and exposure in sports, but they have high bullying. They have teachers that don't, so of course it's a time and a place and you got to balance it. Mm-hmm. But I feel it's time out for parents to only select a school based on your proximity. Mm-hmm. Go where they need to go. And that's just how I do as a parent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still a little, that's my baby. So most of the time the school that I work at is the school she going to.
Yeah. But I definitely feel you on that, because I see it. Like, I've worked in charter schools the last 2 years, and you'll have some people, like, I know a player, he one of the coldest in the country, and it's like he not going to this school. So now you gotta choose where you want to go. But then the school he's been at, you've been allowed to slack off your behavior. You kind of do what So then when you go to a big school, they looking at your transcripts like, shit, no, we don't want you here. Yeah. You can hoop, you can play this sport, but your behavior, these grades. And that's why, as parents, you got to figure out what school your kid's going to go to dang near early. Mm-hmm. Or if you luck up and your kid got talent and they academics, however you can get them into a cathedral or something of that sort to get them out, to get them the exposure that they need, or to be in the environment that they need. Because sometimes you could be a great kid, but you at the wrong school because you got all your homies. And now your homies telling you, hey, let's go skip class, let's do this. Now the peer pressure coming. So I love what you said about your child. Like, hey, okay, you taking this serious? Okay, oh, you good been good the last 3 years. Let's see what schools now you about to be in high school that we can go to, or where can we put you at? Where can we place you? What tournaments can we put you in? What trainers and stuff? And I think parents don't realize, like, you have to help your kids. Your kids ain't got that money. They can't pay the trainers. They can't do none of that. Like, if you can't sign your kid up for the top-notch program, sign them up in something. Like, don't just leave your kids at home, because that's how they get in trouble. And shout out to my son's mom. Like, she seen that he's serious about basketball. She got him a trainer. Good job. He go every Friday, and it's to help his game, because we had to wait to see if he is serious. Because kids, they get high on the sport. Oh yeah, Timmy plays this, I'm gonna play it. Or yeah, she play this, and then 2 weeks into practice, they don't want to play no more. Oh no, no, we paid for this. You better do something. And it's like, if you as a parent don't invest in your child, don't expect your child to go out there and do something. Yeah. Like, you can't think just because you sign your child up, they gonna play. It don't happen that way. You have to earn it, just like a job. You go and you fill out the application with 3 or 4 people. Don't mean because you got the first application, don't mean you gonna be the first supervisor. So you just can't. Yeah. You got to earn every position, and I hate that parents don't. We could talk about parents, school, and sports forever, but yeah. So you won. And I don't know what year, how recent, Miss Midwest?
Yes, Miss Black Midwest. Currently.
Okay. Yes, see, I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't. It wasn't on the note, but I remember in my head from a previous conversation. What is that? Because some people might not know. And how did you do it?
So what it is the same thing. It's similar to Miss America. Mm-hmm. So Miss America just happened Miss Black USA is actually for African American women.
When is that? So I can.
It's actually it's August the 3rd in Washington D.C.
Oh, so it's all of the. That's looking. Oh, okay. August 3rd, D.C. Okay,
yes,
go ahead.
August 3rd. So I currently hold the title of Miss Black Midwest USA 2024, and so there's 3 different categories. And so you have Miss Black Teen USA, you have Miss MISS Black USA, and then you also have MS. And so really it's about giving back. It's about being able to see. It's about the inner. Of course, the outer is fine too, but you have people from all shapes, sizes, backgrounds, all of those different things. And so we basically do the same thing similar as Miss America. You have different state title holders. You have some regional title holders. I hold the regional title. You also have people that are competing. And so once you receive your state or your regional title, you then are preparing yourself to compete for Miss Black USA. And so we have a platform as well. For instance, my platform is the journey from purpose to pain, the journey from pain to purpose. And just kind of going by what I stated earlier, what are some things that were pain for you at once, and now that it's evolved and became your purpose. And so really empowering others to feel your pain, sit in your pain, cry through your pain, whatever it is you need to do through your pain, because one day is going to become your purpose. You're going to end up seeing the rainbow at the end of your storm. And so that's my platform. They have different divisions. So we have to do the on-stage interview, the question and answer. We also have to do, because of body positivity and because of kind of like the body shaming and things like that, a lot of pageants don't do the swimsuit competition anymore. And so that's something that a lot of people are like, oh, it's a swimsuit, but they do sportswear. So we do sportswear. And so that's something that's a little bit different. And so outside of that, you still have your evening gown as well.
Oh, okay.
You have a talent portion too.
Oh, okay. So as you move up in the rankings, if you need someone to go along with you to those events to make sure that the competition, check out the competition for you, just let me know. Is it a certain age? Like, do they have the Miss? They need to have a Miss Auntie. Like,
so they actually the category that I'm in is up to age 45.
Ooh. And when is the next? So I can
August 3rd. No, August 3rd is actually
3rd,
yeah.
August.
Look at you.
Okay. No, I just I just want to check it out. I've never been or anything of that sort. That's all. Like, yeah, because when I think of the pageant, I just think of Steve Harvey and when he messed up the name or whatever happened. But that's super dope that you are doing that, because you don't really hear it.
Yeah.
And just for you to have done that and to be able to compete on the next level is super dope. And I guess I get why they don't have the bathing suits, but that's just people being dumb or the body shaming, because most men like natural women anyways, and I don't get the BB.
And I know, it's so interesting too, because even with us having Miss Black USA, because people don't know, for a while African American women could not compete in Miss America. And so that's something that people didn't know. Even shout out to Miss Indiana, because Miss Indiana is an African American woman, and she actually was the top 3 in Miss America here recently. She lives here.
Is she single? Even if she's not, you could come on the show. We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yes, she works. I think she works in like pediatrics and things like that. But yeah, look it up, Miss Black Indiana. Well, no, Miss Black Indiana, Miss Indiana. Yep, yeah. She competed in Miss America and she was in the top 3. So
in this pageant, do they allow y'all to be yourselves?
Yes.
Okay, because I know, like in college and those kind of in pageants, they be, oh well, your hair has to look like this and this. So I'm glad that, because I don't know why black women couldn't be in the pageant. They are the most beautiful women on earth. So I was just
So we get a lot of I know even having a title of Miss Black Midwest. I've done different speaking engagements, like on the news and different things like that, different articles, and the things that I see, and, I know who I am, what I stand for. So, it's nothing that's going to shake me. But things like, why can't we have a Miss White USA? Like, so segregation again. So you guys are, just different things to where it's like, that's not the that's not the purpose. That's not the goal. And as my brother said, just don't worry about what they're saying. But people are definitely try to say stuff, and I'm looking like, what? They're like, wow. So yeah.
Yeah. What?
But hey, we're in Indiana. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
We're gonna leave it. But that's super dope. I remember you saying that. That's why I guess I waited to the end, because you kind of showed us who you are. Because sometimes people see people and you always working and you always have a work face, or I can only talk to a person for a second. So I love when people get on and be able to laugh, tell their story, talk about everyday stuff. So 3 tips. 3 tips on how to turn your pain to your purpose, but it's for someone to, when they hear it, they can able to do it right then. Like, they can take these steps and they can move the needle forward as soon as they hear these steps.
Okay. 3 tips on turning your pain into your purpose. I would say tip number 1 is writing down the things that make you most emotional. Writing down the things that make you the most emotional that you can control. A lot of times I think that we focus on things that's beyond our control. And so write down those things that make, let's say the top 3 to 5 things that make you the most emotional that you can control. And then the second thing is write down the 3 things that you're most proud of. So 3 things that makes you the most emotional, 3 things that you're most proud of. And then I would say the final thing is looking at that list and reminding yourself of the journey and how you got to where you are. And making sure that you understand that it is just a season. It is not a permanent. We have to stop making permanent decisions for temporary situations. And so writing those things down, the things that make you most emotional, the things that you're most proud of, and continuing to celebrate yourself for progress, even if you feel like you have not arrived. Because when you talk about from pain to purpose, as long as you continue to recognize those things that are painful, but also looking forward to understand progress. Like I reward myself for progress. A lot of times we try to reward ourselves just when we accomplish the goal. Well, before you accomplish the goal, there was a lot of milestones. There was a lot of milestones that if you don't shift and stop in between those milestones, you won't get to your purpose. And so understanding from pain, there's perseverance through, and as you persevere through, you'll find your purpose.
I love those. And I'll be having to tell myself to celebrate the progress or the accomplishments. It's like, okay, that's knocked off the checklist. What's next? And I don't sit down. Like, I'll be having to sit down, but I love those 3 tips. So as I ask any guest, I need an underdog quote. It could be your quote. It could be a quote you live by. It could be a quote you saw today, but I need a quote from you.
I'm going to give a quote. I don't even know. I want to say it comes from my brother. He told it to me. I don't know if he got it. My brother likes to, talk as well. But I don't know. I'll just say author unknown, but brought to you by my brother. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only thing that you have left.
I love that. That's me. Yeah, I love that one. Nah, for real.
Yeah.
I ain't got no strength. I don't go to nobody's gym, but until I have to actually use whatever muscles I got, that's when I know.
Yeah.
And it ain't got to do with physical muscles. It could be whatever else. So I love that quote. Tell people how they can reach you on the internet I don't know why I say internet. Like, I'll be old. Like, the last people that was on, they all was under 24. And when I say that, I was like, yeah, I sound real old. But I'm going to say on social media, because I don't think.
Social media. Let's see. Let's go with the Instagram. You can, actually, Instagram or Facebook. It's Amoore, Amoore Speaks, Speaks. So it's Amoore Speaks. Or if you just look up Aleayna Moore, it's ALEANYA MOORE.
All right, and I appreciate everything that you do. You you are definitely one of the ladies here in NAP that help the young ladies. Like, when someone make a post about girls, I always see your name tagged in there. So just love what you do for the community. Love what you do for, like yourself, getting a PhD. That ain't easy. So it really ain't. So shout out to you for that. When you finish, I'm sure you're gonna be like, who are you gonna go? What's after the PhD?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. I
don't know what's next.
Because you seem like you're gonna try to achieve it.
Look, I don't know what's next. I don't know. I think I'm feeling like a lot of people probably gonna be, once y'all see this, y'all probably gonna start messaging me. But I'm feeling like there's a soon expiration date on Indianapolis. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm just feeling that.
She didn't say if it was her or me, so we don't know.
Well,
because I feel like after a certain point, you accomplish so much, and if you can't reach it with the people here, because whatever is, that's another subject. But I feel like that I've been hearing that a lot lately. I gotta figure out where I'm going for spring break, and maybe that'll be where I'm gonna move. Yeah, I can't say the two places. But
until then, hey, I'm here. We making it happen. I always come back, but I do know. We'll just you
just leave it at that. I don't want people hitting you up.
We'll just keep it at that. Hey, make sure y'all follow me as well on Instagram, MS Black Midwest USA. So Miss Black USA.
Yeah.
Miss Black Midwest USA. See, I'm speaking into existence that I'm gonna gain the title of Miss Black USA. I can't say it now, but I'm gonna speak it to an existence.
That'd be dope, because then you have to come back as the black. Then you could bring your friends that you met there.
Listen, and one interesting fact is that I've been working on planning my 40th birthday. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
How close? I don't want to ask that.
Listen, August. I'll be 40.
Oh, okay. So you closer to 40 than I am. Good.
So just so happened that the pageant is the weekend of my birthday.
Oh.
So I said, okay, maybe this is God bringing my present to me. Because I thought if it was up to me, I was going to be on a cruise and, doing all this. So, stay tuned.
So how early did you plan your 40? Because I got a little time, but,
Man, listen, I was ready. But once I found out that I received this title, and then once I found out when the pageant was going to be, it was just kind of like, all right, I guess that's where I'm at for my birthday. Washington, D.C., turn up. Yep. Well, I guess I can't turn up too much. I got to be on stage.
To each his own.
Hey.
I might have to just go. Yeah. Just if you meet any friends, just tell them come on back. Just to be on the podcast. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm still looking for a bonus mom for my son, my daughter. She's just like, nah, I don't care who you talking to. But, I do like aunties. I just always throw that out there. People be thinking I'm crazy, but I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Aunties.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna either go on somebody's, or I'm gonna have this girl this woman I work with. We're gonna do a relationship episode, so I can really give my honesty, and I don't know if everybody ready, but No, I'm serious.
Hey, people need to do a podcast on dating in your 30s, 40s.
Don't say that. Don't say that because everybody got a podcast about relationships, and
really?
None of these jokers don't got no game. They giving out stupid advice. They ain't even been in a relationship. They be trying to give married people advice. They ain't never been married. They ain't even been committed more than 2 years in a relationship. Stop doing a relationship podcast. Don't listen to what she just said.
Throw that away.
Stop it. I'm tired of it.
Throw it away.
Because
I'm gonna have to go check them out then. Should I check them out?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I think it's called Tonight's Conversation. It's with the dude with the beard and stuff. They be cool. I haven't been there. But everything that they say, I think a lot of times you gotta watch the actual episode and not go off of the clip. We live in a world of a 30-second, a minute clip holds value, and nobody actually goes and watch the full episode. Like your views on a video clip from a podcast episode could be killing your podcast, and you'd be like, what's going on? Because nobody wants to take the time to actually go watch. I hate that for the world that we live in, because y'all getting advice off 30 seconds off of people that y'all don't even know, that haven't even shown you anything. But that's no here or there. But as we before I let you, I always let the guests say the closing words or the wrap up. Go to Amazon, grab Underdawg Quotes book from me. It dropped Friday. It's just the quotes from episode 100. 1 to 100 of the guests that's been on the show, and they got 2 questions that can help you change your perspective on life. So go grab it. It's on Amazon. When is this episode? I think this episode won't be in enough time to do what I'm doing. But shout out to I'm gonna keep shouting my 4th grade team. We made it to state.
Hey.
And it's crazy that we made it to state, because if you look at the teams that's out there, if you look at all, they more talented than us, but they ain't got more heart than us, and they ain't gonna put in more effort than us. So shout out to the boys. Give us a closing.
I would say for me, remembering, hey, you're one of 3 things. You're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or getting ready to walk into one right now. And the reality is there's a rainbow at the end of the storm. Don't give up. Keep looking forward. Get you a community around you that looks like your future, and never give up.
On that note, keep being great. I was about to go in on whoever's standing in the hallway, like, you don't see that sign in the middle of the hallway?